Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another edition of Build with the CEO. I'm your host, Trevor, the CEO of Coach Catalyst, and I'm super excited to be with you here today. And on today's episode, we're going to talk all about marketing. And we're going to talk about this kind of Q4, the fall, and some key things that we should be thinking about as we're going into marketing this fall. Because really, the marketing this fall is leading up to what we may launch in January, right? If we plan on launching a big program in January, which we should be, right? That's a key time when people are interested in coaching. When we launch a big program in January, the success of that program is going to hinge on the work that we're doing now. Hey, Teresa, good to see you. Thanks for listening. So the work that we do now is going to directly influence our success in January. So we have the next, October, November, December, the next 3 months, Q4, in order to really start building some momentum so we can go into Q1 of 2025 and just knock it out of the park with our program. So I talk a lot about what we call the psychographic of the buyer, or the psychographic of the client that we're looking to get. Now, what that means is simply what's going on in that client's head, right? What's going on inside that client's head at any given moment. And so there's typically, times during the year when certain things are going on inside of our clients' heads, right? If we typically deal with people that have kids, the end of August, beginning of September is the back to school time. So clients are thinking about getting kids back in school, getting activities started, all that stuff. Probably not the best time to really market hard a program. You want to market it right after that, when times have started to slow down a little bit. So we have these key times throughout the year where most people that are interested in healthy change are starting to think about this stuff. So we have the back to school time, which we just talked about. We have the new year, which is obvious, right? And then we have this right before summertime, depending on your geographic location. But those are 3 times when people are actively thinking about getting in better shape, losing weight, improving their health outside of what I call the moments. So there are moments that happen, right? Where someone tries on a pair of pants that they haven't tried on in a while. They look in the mirror, someone comments on something, right? So there's these moments that propel people to change, and then they reach out. But we can't necessarily control those. The ones we can have a little bit more influence are the times when the environment around us is pushing us towards a certain way of thinking, right? So I'll give you a good example, like Halloween, right? Around Halloween, people are thinking about costumes. They're thinking about candy. And so we can piggyback on that psychographic and create things that help clients be more successful. So if we're specifically thinking about Q4, right? There's some key times here in Q4 if you're living in America that are going to be a place where you have more leverage than others. So the first one is going to be around Halloween. Okay, Halloween is going to be a good one because a lot of people are thinking about candy. They're thinking about sugar. They're maybe thinking about limiting the amount of sugar that's in their life. And then they may be thinking about, hey, I've had a lot of sugar. I need to take a little break from sugar for a period of time. So that's where doing lead magnets, things like that around Halloween, whether it's no sugar recipes or something that just plays into this idea of like trick or treat. And then we have this time between Halloween and then Thanksgiving, right? It's about a month, give or take, 3 to 4 weeks. And that's a great time to be able to run something. And then we have Thanksgiving, which people are starting to think about, the holidays. So Thanksgiving in the US really marks the beginning of the holiday season. And so that's going to be a great time to maybe drop another lead magnet that relates around Thanksgiving or festive recipes or things like that. And then leading up to Christmas, right? So we've got the end of November up to Christmas. This can be a great time to do something simple. We always run what's called the Christmas countdown, where we give them a simple exercise to do every day. It takes 2 or 3 minutes. Everyone that participates gets thrown into a raffle for prizes. So really easy things to engage with people. So personally for us, we're not really thinking about hard marketing or hard program release during this time, because during this time, people are typically really busy. The holidays are an extremely busy time for a lot of people. So getting them to jump on a new program or add something new to their life can be challenging. Not to say it isn't possible, but if I was planning a launch, I'm probably not planning a launch in Q4. I'm thinking about Q4 as being a build phase where I build up my marketing assets, right? I build up the number of eyeballs. I try and build up my audience so that in January, when I do launch my main program, I can launch it with a lot more eyeballs than right now. So that's just a way that we're thinking about it. And it's one of the reasons why, if you read the email yesterday, you saw we launched this thing called the Super Coach Spooktacular Bundle. And so Super Coach is our sister product at Coach Catalyst. It helps with email marketing and text message marketing and funnels and lead magnets and all of that fun stuff. And so Emma put together this really cool package that essentially gives you your marketing plan from now until the end of the year, and then potentially into the new year if that's something that someone wanted to continue with. But I want to just kind of let you know, actually, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to share my screen here. That's probably going to be easiest. And then I can just kind of show you a little bit about this, and that'll help give you some ideas too on things that you could be doing to help kind of generate more leads. So I'll show you this, and then I'll talk through some application to some of this stuff. So here's just the Spooktacular Super Bundle. We've got the Trick or Treat lead magnet. It's going to be branded recipes, a funnel opt-in page, and then leading into a Spooktacular sugar detox, and then the festive recipes magnet, and then the Christmas countdown, and then some other things that are going to be in there, like a branded link tree for your socials, access to Supercoach CRM, which is what delivers all of this stuff. And then if you did want to stick around in the new year, a branded program for the new year, kind of a signature type program. And then there's a bunch of other funnels if you kind of have your own stuff. And then something new that we're adding is just monthly calls, monthly group calls to help get questions answered. And it's pretty straightforward. It's a one-time payment of $297, gets you all this stuff, gets you the platform, gets you everything, all of the branded materials. And Emma does brand all of these for you. And you can see some of the examples of all of this stuff up here. And so one of the reasons we bring this up is because the question we get from coaches all the time is like, the marketing stuff, that's what's the most challenging, right? I'm not tech savvy. And so we want to try and solve those problems for you in the easiest way. But if we're thinking about what we want to do in this new year or in this Q4, I've been doing a lot of interviewing for these season 4 of the Coach Catalyst podcast, where I'm interviewing a bunch of really successful online coaches. And a common theme amongst all of these coaches is they do the vast majority of their selling via email. So it's to their email list. Email is one of your best marketing assets. It's something that can go with you. If something goes down or something goes away, a major service, whatever, you can export your email list, and there will be another service that pops up. You can import, and you're right back in people's inboxes. If your Instagram goes down, if Facebook goes down, all of those kind of things, they change the algorithms. You don't have much control over that. And so email is by far the highest return on investment marketing asset that you have at your disposal. Not that it should be your only one, but it should be the main one. Hands down, doing more emailing is going to lead to better results. And so much of what Q4 I think should be is around building up your email list. So you want to build up, you want to grow that email list, you want to nurture that email list, and you want to make sure that is ready to go for when you hit the new year. Because in the new year, that psychographic is going to change, right? Maybe I gained a few pounds during the holidays, which is super common. Or maybe I'm ready to finally take care of myself, also very common. And you want to be there providing value for them so that when they're ready, they can jump on with you. And so much of this is about building our email address, email list. And that's where lead magnets come in. Lead magnets are one of the easiest ways to build your email list, because a lead magnet is simply like, here's something that you would find beneficial. And in exchange for that, you're going to give me your email address. Right? Recipes work really, really well as lead magnets. They're easy. They're very consumable. Someone can make one or two of them and get immediate benefit from them. They're very attractive in a social media landscape as well. They're not very, they're very commitment low, right? You're not asking someone to get on a call with you or do any of that stuff. You're just giving them something free. And so recipes we found to be a really, really good way. A couple other ones that I think are also really good to use as lead magnets. Another one's like a calculator. If you can get a hold of, we have one in Supercoach CRM, I think it's called the Nutrition Calculator, where you can figure out someone's macros with a calculator. But I've seen other coaches that do really good with macros, a macro calculator, like figuring out your macros and getting leads that way, right? Getting email addresses, which they can then nurture and educate and potentially turn into clients. And so that's just another way that you can build it. And then the third one I really like is like a free or low cost, low commitment type programs. So not like your full blown challenges, things like that. I like just something simple, a 7-day this, a no sugar challenge, something that isn't going to require a massive amount of commitment, right? But it's going to allow you to participate. And one of the reasons I like these free or low cost type challenges is because you get an opportunity to interact, right? You get the opportunity to start building a relationship. And yes, the through rate of most people is going to be pretty low, right? Because it's going to be low cost or free, which means not everyone is going to take it seriously. But that's okay, because they signed up for it because they had a problem to solve. Maybe they weren't ready now, but they might be ready later. But at least now they're in your atmosphere, and then you can help them along in that journey. And so that's a really nice thing, is you're getting those people, but then you're also getting people that will participate, and those could turn into really good clients down the road. And so that can be another way. That's what we like to kind of layer these in this fall period, where we go lead magnet for the trick or treat recipe, and you could start launching that in October, right? You could get that out there as soon as you want, really. And then from there, you move into like a no sugar challenge or a sugar detox or something like that. Because again, psychographic of the client, just got done with Halloween. I've got probably 3 pounds of Halloween candy sitting in my living room floor. And I maybe feel sick because I've eaten so much, right? Or I know I shouldn't be eating a whole lot of sugar. And now this gives me a nice little time frame to just eliminate sugar from my life for the next 28 days, right? So that's that one. And then launching the Festive Recipes lead magnet. And these don't need to be mutually exclusive, right? We can overlap them big time. But you can go trick or treat lead magnet into the Spooktacular Sugar Detox if you wanted to, right? You could sell people directly into that, or you could offer it for free, whatever makes most sense for you. I wouldn't get caught up in like one way is right versus wrong. Just try one and see what happens. If you want to offer it for free, cool. If you want to offer it for free, if you want to put a small fee on it, awesome. If you want to put a small fee on it and donate it to a charity, or connect with a local organization and do something like that, I think that's another great way to help expand your reach. You know, especially if that organization has a little bit of an email list and they're adept a little bit at email marketing, then you could partner with them. They're going to blast their list about it, and then you're going to, you know, send all the proceeds, or 50% of the proceeds, or 75% of the proceeds to this organization. So it can be a win-win for everybody. You're getting the leads, you're getting the names, you're able to nurture those people, and then this organization, who organizations are always in need of funds, gives you the chance to be able to give back to that organization as well. And then hopefully they will share that with their people. And then we have the festive recipes lead magnet. So again, we're thinking Thanksgiving time in the US, right? We call it festive. So it can be wherever you want it. It could be more of the Christmas holiday time. It could be Thanksgiving, but that's another lead magnet that we can drop for the next month or so, because that may attract a different person, right? They might be interested in that versus the sugar one. Cool. Awesome. And then the Christmas countdown, I think, is another awesome, easy one that you can do to just engage with people. Really simple. We have a program inside of Coach Catalyst. Same thing with the sugar detox. We have a program inside of Coach Catalyst. So it makes it really easy to execute. The Christmas countdown is just fun. It's just like a daily exercise type thing. A lot of really cool graphics around that one. So it's going to make you look really professional. And just allow you to engage and have fun. And then from there, we can try and move people into our signature program in the new year. But those are like 4 just really good things, really easy ones that you can just deploy to start building that email list. Right. So if you don't have an email provider or an email list or anything right now, that's a good thing to start. We all have to start somewhere, and we'll all start from zero. So let's get that going right away. And so if you jumped on this, you could just use the email platform within here to send those emails. Great. If you are using a different platform, you can still utilize this stuff. You don't need to send it all through here. You could utilize all the marketing and that kind of stuff, and then put them into your other platform, or see how it works and see if you like this one better. Really, to be honest, we want you to be successful. So whatever makes the most sense for you, I want you to do that. And really from here, like I said at the beginning, like we're marketing now to sell in January, right? We don't necessarily need to sell a lot right now, right? We're building right now. We're building the email list. We're building the audience. We're building social media. We're building those things here for the next quarter so that in January, we can go and start fill up our coaching program. So I've got a few things open here. If anybody has any questions, I do see a few that I'll answer right here. So Liz, to use a lead magnet without a website, just post on social media. Tell what I want to give and get email. Yeah, absolutely. So if you don't have a website, that doesn't really matter, right? Your lead magnet is simply like an exchange, an email in exchange for this lead magnet, festive recipes, trick or treat, whatever. You're probably going to want a landing page or something for them to go to download it, just so that we can be compliant, where they check the box that they're going to be receiving. They're going to be basically put on your newsletter list and that kind of stuff. So we want to try and stay as compliant as we can with email, just kind of email best practices. And so sending them to a landing page would be ideal. It doesn't necessarily need to be a full-blown website, but a landing page would work just fine. You could post it on social and then have them give you their email, and then you send it over to them, and then you manually put them on your email list because they're not necessarily opting into anything. That's a little bit more of a gray area. And Emma, I think who's listening today, would probably be able to drop a little bit more info into the chat on Facebook about that. But we want people to opt in as much as we can. I think if you're doing maybe a lead magnet on social, that's a good conversation starter, where you can give them the lead magnet and then you can have a conversation with them and potentially trying to move them closer to coaching right away. But I like email from a nurture standpoint, just because it's a one-to-many type of method, kind of like this today. Whether I'm talking to one person, 0 people, or 10,000 people, right? It doesn't require any more work on my part, right? So we always want to look at these leverage opportunities. That's where a one-to-many type email, where you can provide value to a bunch of people with the same amount of work and the same amount of time and the same amount of effort. Like, those are the things we want to be doubling down on. So Emma just dropped in the comment, and I'm just going to say it here just because we have people on some different platforms here as well, if you're on YouTube or just streaming on Riverside. But yeah, CAN spam best practices are for people to opt in or at least have access to your privacy policy, which could be linked in the footer of your landing page. So best scenarios, they opt in, but worst case scenario is they have access to your privacy policy. So wherever they're going to download it, right, you would put it in there. or you could even potentially put it in the lead magnet as well, kind of as a disclosure at the front. But honestly, I like the opt-in the best, just because, like, all right, cool, we're good. And honestly, like, email is a little bit of a volume game where you want to get a lot of people and then you want people to unsubscribe because you want the right people, right? So in order to find the right people, now we need to get a fair amount of people to get there. So don't be try not to get too excited about unsubscribes. I get them every single time I send an email. It hurts a lot more at the beginning than it does later, but it's just part of the process. And you actually want people to unsubscribe because you want to be providing value, right? And if someone isn't getting value from what you do, then that's cool. Like, let's have them go somewhere else and take their attention somewhere else where they are going to get value. That's a good thing. And then you just go find more of your people. I've mentioned this before, but there's a really good article. I believe it's by Kevin Kelly, and I'm going to throw it in I'll see if I can find it, throw it in the chat here. But it's called 100 True Fans, and 1,000 True Fans. So if you can get 1,000 true fans, you can create an incredible business. So I just found it right here. So this was an essay he wrote in 2028, but I'm going to throw this in the Facebook chat because I think this is a valuable thing to read. Because many times we compare ourselves to the people that are at the top of the mountain, right? The people that have the biggest following, the hundreds of thousands, the people that have the massive email list, where it's really, we just want enough of the right people, right? Because if we have enough of the right people, you can create something really special. You can create a lot of change, and you can ultimately build a business that is successful for you, right? So just, it's a good article, pretty short read, a nice essay, and it'll give you a little bit of perspective on this idea of building an audience. We don't need a big audience. We just want an engaged and true audience, because an engaged and true audience, no matter what you drop, right, they're going to purchase. And that's what we want. We want people that are going to engage with us, not just people that are going to be signing up for our stuff. So that's where unsubscribes can be a good thing. It helps you just create a better audience. And then you look at your open rates and all of that fun stuff, and that gives you a good idea on what's resonating with people. What are they opening? What aren't they opening? And then with email, it gives you a chance to essentially make an offer every single time. I've talked about this concept before, and I didn't come up with this, but it's called a super signature. I believe the first person was Dean Jackson, a fairly prominent marketer, but I learned it from a guy named Pat Grigsby. But it's called the super signature, and you probably see it at the end of Coach Catalyst emails if you read our stuff. But at the end of the email, it says, P.S. Whenever you're ready, here are 3 ways that I can help, or 4 ways, or whatever you want it to be. And they're typically just really simple ways to go a little bit deeper with you. Maybe it's downloading a free guide, right? Maybe it's setting up a strategy call. Maybe it's signing up for a full-blown program, right? But those are just ways that you can soft market, where 80%, 90% of the content that you provide on that any given day is value that someone could utilize. And then the last 10% is like, hey, if you want help with implementation, right? Because I live in the camp of we should give most everything away for free, where we should really give away the education for free, and then we charge for implementation. Because education is really a dime a dozen. We can get education from anywhere, right? But where people struggle is the implementation, the accountability, those types of things. So I'm just kind of popping back over here to the socials, just see if there are any questions. All right. So I got a question here on YouTube. I'd like to know more about how to use the Supercoach CRM. So what I would suggest for you guys to do, if you're interested in that at all and you're like unsure about it, we are doing a webinar on Thursday. And I will see if I can grab the link, or maybe Emma can grab the link and drop it into Facebook, and then I'll drop it into YouTube. But we're doing a webinar on Thursday, just super quick, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and we're digging inside of the platform. So we're going to open the platform up, kind of show you how it works, give you a few tidbits on some best practices. And so you can see it from the inside, because sometimes it can be hard to conceptualize, especially if you're kind of new to some of this kind of online marketing stuff. And so I believe it's Tony, right, with Body Sculpt. But yeah, that's going to be the best way to learn about it. But we have a huge help database for Supercoach CRM as well. We have a help desk, just like we do with Coach Catalyst, to help coaches be successful with the platform. And then Emma brands all of the programs as well to be specific to your brand, your colors, all that. And then you have the ability to go in and edit anything, right? Because you want to make this your own. And I think the biggest mistake most coaches make with done for you stuff is they just go and deploy it, right? Which like is fine, but like you need to make it your own, and you need to speak to your people, because how you speak to your people is going to be different than how I speak to my people. Right. And so that's your unique sauce. We might be teaching the same thing. Protein is great. Eat more veggies, drink more water, right? Get some movement in. But how I say it and how you say it are probably going to be different. And your people are going to resonate with how you say it, right? That's your unique sauce. And so when you get stuff, landing pages, all that, just we want to read through it. We want to spend an hour going through it and just making sure that it fits our voice. Right? Because you didn't have to spend the hundreds of dollars. You didn't have to spend the hours and hours building this stuff from scratch. It already looks good. It's just you need to make sure the copy fits your voice and it fits your style. And it really fits your brand, right? Because we all have a little bit different of a brand. And so even though we're going to provide 95% of the stuff done for you, it needs to be said that you need to go through it, because too many coaches just like, okay, cool, I got this done for you thing, and I'm just going to deploy it. And they wonder why it flops. Right, flops because it wasn't you. Right, it didn't flop because the content wasn't good, or the images were bad, or the style was bad. It flopped because A, maybe we didn't have much of an audience. B, we maybe didn't promote it very well. Or C, we didn't change it so that it fit us. So when someone like who knew us goes and looks at it, like, that's kind of weird. It doesn't fit. Right, it doesn't fit. And so those are just some things about our goal is just to make it easy as possible for you guys to execute. So, so if you can't make that call on Thursday, just let us know, or just still sign up, because we're going to send out the replay to everyone. So I'm going to see if I can get that. I'm going to see if I can get that call link up while we're on here for the Thursday webinar. So give me a couple seconds here. I'm not a great multitasker, so I need to do one thing at a time. So, all right, I think I found it. So I'm going to grab this, and I'll drop this in the chat. This is where you can sign up for that webinar. We're going to be live, so you can come and ask questions, see the inside of it. And if you can't make it, that's cool. Well, we'll send the replay out to everyone that registers. So this just makes it a whole lot easier. So it should be in there. You guys can check it out in the links. I'm just going to click it to make sure that it goes. Yep, and I'll share my screen with you guys so you can kind of see where you're going to be headed after this. So if you do want to jump on it, you're going to see this screen right here. Spooktacular webinar, pretty straightforward. It's going to be at 11 a.m. Central on Thursday. Okay, 11 a.m. Central on Thursday. Right now it is 12:30 Central on Tuesday. So you can start to do the math a little bit on where you should be at. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to get through today. Hopefully you picked up on the importance of using Q4 as a build phase in your business, email marketing as being a cornerstone marketing channel for you, right? And we can use future episodes to talk about how we build out content for our email marketing. It doesn't need to be complicated. So that's the second piece, is email marketing being a core thing, and then building that email list. How do we do that? We've got lead magnets, which are great. We've got calculators, which is another really good way to build your email list and generate leads. And then we also have kind of low cost or free, what I call low touch programs, right? Where you're just getting people into your world, coaching them up a bit, helping them be successful. So I think if you're doing those things, you're moving your business forward, and you're really building a foundation for January, which is when we're going to start hitting our signature programs and start hitting some of that stuff a little bit harder. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys today. If you want to check out, Supercoach CRM, that spooktacular offer, I will drop that in there as well. So you guys have that link, and then feel free to jump on the webinar on Thursday. And then I'll be emailing about this tomorrow as well. So open your email, because we believe in this stuff too. and I want to provide some value. So tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about email marketing in lead magnets. So yeah, that's what we got. Hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully it helps you guys start building for January. And if you have questions, as always, you can just tag me in this. This recording will be in Facebook, so you can always get it there. Tag me inside of the comments, and I'm more than happy to help however I can. So you guys have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Later.